course, now, though, to kick off the morning with the president of this gorgeous hotel, David Jurcak. David, it is always so great to have you here at the big desk.
Well, it's great to have all of you back. It's an incredible session today. It's going to be an incredible week.
It has been a busy week, which is just my first question because I have to ask. I mean, what is it like, right? Once a year, you have more than 1,500 folks just descend on this hotel for this conference.
Well, it can't kickstart the season any better.
Right.
Is to have people all across the porch, going out into the tea garden and the parlor, enjoying Grand Hotel. And what I really love about it is that the people continue to come back throughout the season. So it's helpful for us in all different ways.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the hotel. We sat here at this desk last year during the conference. It was year 2 of a 5-year, just huge renovation that you're doing. We're in year 3. Fill us in. What's new?
So the parlor.
Yes.
So you'll see we've redesigned the parlor.
Yeah.
New carpet. We worked with Dorothy Draper and Company.
Yeah.
Kept most of it the same.
Yeah.
But we expanded on it, got a little bit more expressive in some of our colors. Main dining room was completely redone. And then what we really appreciate is, we've been concentrating on the porch, and on the west side of the porch, you'll see wood flooring. Yeah. And we're going to continue the wood flooring across the front porch. First time since 1932 that it's been an uncovered wood front porch.
Wow.
So we're bringing back some historical elements that have been gone for many, many years.
Yeah. And for folks who maybe are streaming for the first time or watching the conference, you have to mention the porch. Give us the details.
660 feet long. It's the world's longest front porch. It is really our postcard. Yeah. You come across the lake, the first thing you see is Grand Hotel, the outside. So we just want to make sure that it looks beautiful for years to come.
And tell me about the new wall coloring. I heard there's a story behind it.
It is Huron Sunrise.
Say it again.
Huron
Sunrise. Okay.
And so if you look to the east every morning, that is the color that you see.
Yeah.
And then in the main dining room, it's called Daffodil.
Yeah.
And that is the first flower that blooms on the island every spring.
Love it. So you've got 2 more years, right, of these renovations. What are we expecting over the next 2? What should we prepare for?
So the great thing is that we've expanded it. Now you got the scoop.
Yes.
Early scoop. We're going to finish the front porch. We'll finish everything down here. But next year, we're going to start going into the guest rooms. So Dorothy Draper and Company, who has been the designer on record for Grand Hotel since 1978, are now going to go back and we're going to do all the guest rooms in 3 years. So still all 388 individually designed guest rooms.
What does that look like? I was going to say, my
gosh. Well, it looks 388. It looks different wherever you're at.
Sure.
It's unlike, I've been in the business for 35 years, and it's unlike any other hotel. Most hotels, you have 3 or 4 designs, and you just go do it. Yeah. So it will take 3 years to get through them all. They'll be like fingerprints. You go from one to the other, all of them will be different.
What's the process like? Who gets the input?
We all do. Our ownership gets to, they're the final input.
Sure.
But really it all starts and ends with Dorothy Draper and Company. I mean, they bring the color and the splash of colors. No way would, I look at my jacket. I was going to say I try to keep up, but they're the ones that are going to throw, they throw things at us. And, individually you look at it and you're like, that's not going to work. Yeah. And then collectively you put it in a room and you're like, it actually does work on Mackinac Island at Grand Hotel.
Yeah. I'm so curious about, how you balance a hotel as old as the Grand, right? And 1887 and the history with this idea of wanting to do a renovation or wanting to change something. And how do you balance that historical nature with future looking?
So you approach every one of those restorations or renovations from history and say, you know what, we're not going to get too far out ahead of ourselves. We're not going to modernize that. We still respect what Carlton did, what Mr. Musser did in 1978 when they really changed Grand Hotel. Yeah. And we want to make sure that feeling is there. We talk about it all the time, that people that come generational, they have a backdrop of that family photo, and we don't want to change the backdrop. We want the backdrop to be the same. We don't want somebody to look back and say, okay, this is, where I was in 1997, and here's in 2027, and it looks different. We want to keep that backdrop similar, but maybe a little bit more color.
Okay, because it's just you and I sitting here, right?
No one's watching.
Give me the scoop. Has there ever been an idea or something that was just a little too out there where someone had to put their foot down and just go, no, we are not doing that?
Yes.
Fill us in.
So you can see the grid work of the carpet. So they were all squares. And it was in the movie in the Somewhere in Time movie. This past year or 2 years ago when we first looked at it, the idea was to get rid of that and do a whole vine like you were actually in a flower pot with geraniums.
Oh.
And we looked at it for a year and we all loved it.
Yeah.
And then we all said, okay, hold on, stop. That might be a little aggressive.
Deemed a little too far out.
Let's step back. And so we kept the grid work. The flowers are a little bit different, a little bit more expressive. And then we did this, where we brought the big geraniums in and didn't do the grid work all the way throughout.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the hotel?
The hotel. It is. I mean, it's the story. I'm a natural storyteller.
Yeah.
I've worked in hotels, again, all my adult life.
Yeah.
But there's a story to tell in this hotel, no matter what it is, whether it's the decoration, whether it's the history, whether it's, the generational of guests that come back, that I can continue to talk about stories all day long.
Yeah.
And the hotel sells itself. It doesn't need me to tell you about the hotel. You know about it. People in Upper Michigan or Michigan and the Upper Midwest know this hotel.
Yeah.
It's just the stories that go along with it.
David Jurcak, president of this hotel. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for allowing all of us to descend and begin really the season up here on Mackinac Island.
Well, thank you. And again, cheers.
Cheers.
Just like last year.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Happy Thursday.
There you go.
Third day of the conference.